welcome back to Shoogly Shed Motors. I've got the heater on today and my insulated overalls because it's freezing again. It's almost April and for some reason Scotland has plunged itself back into the depths of winter. I've also just realised I'm wearing double corduroy. Nice. XJR1300 obviously, still battling on with this. I alluded to it in a couple of episodes ago, but I'm going to make it official now. The XJR1300 is going to feature at the Bike Shed show this year in London, the 2024 Bike Shed show. If you don't know already, Bike Shed is a venue down in London. They also have one out in LA. It is kind of the hub of the kind of custom build scene in the UK. The Bike Shed, and the show has a pedigree for being one of, if not the best show for custom motorcycles in the UK, in Europe, maybe even in the world, don't know, but it's right up there, and I am over the moon to have a bike in the show, but I need to actually have that bike ready for the show, and it's at the end of May, so I have a little over a month and a half or so to get this bike to show standard. I'm not going to worry about getting it running for then. Bike doesn't need to be running for the show. It just needs to, you know, obviously look nice, concours, condition. For that reason, there are a couple of things I'm not going to worry about just now. So I want to get the bike basically looking as best as it can, get it back together, looking cool and ready for a display. And with the time constraints on me, like I say, I'm not going to worry too much about certain technical aspects, running and things like that, carburetor rebuilds or all that kind of nonsense, because at the end of the day, it's time I can't really afford to spend. The rest of the time I have, I'm going to need it all to even just get the bike, you know, rolling on two wheels and looking pretty to take it down. So without further ado, and that said, let's get stuck back into it. I want to get the back wheel mounted up today. I want to try and get some of the stuff on the handlebars sorted. I also want to get things like the coils back on, spark plug leads, a few other bits and pieces can go back on. Still kind of stuck with the front end, unfortunately, because the forks will be getting chromed for quite a wee while yet. It might be a race to the line when I get the forks back, to get them on the bike, like rebuilt on the bike and ready for the show. But you know, it's all part of the fun, isn't it? Anyway, let's crack into it. been a while since I had the headlight on. And it's been even longer since I had the speedometer on. Ages. Yeah, although I haven't decided on grips yet, what I'm going to do is use the spacer for the mirror bracket just on the end of the bar here, so I can get a feel for where everything else needs to bolt from. It's one of these sort of confusing parts of putting a bike together, is getting the controls all aligned correctly. Not an easy task. Other thing I need to consider are my momentary switches, which will be getting routed into the bar. So the bar needs to go over about there, I think. These are actually turn signals and brake and tail lights all in one. So nice little neat solution with the number plate here. Should be pretty cool. Right, with the chain and sprockets all fitted up now, I need to put the sprocket cover back on next. I also have given a little aesthetic treatment to the carbs, so I would like to upgrade these carbs to a set of Mikuni flat slides. However, I can't afford to do that basically before the bike shed show. So what I've done is I've given these a lick of paint, some new stainless fixings, polished up some bits as well, and they should look just fine for the, well, for the aesthetic purpose that they'll serve just now. Obviously air filter still to go on, and then maybe someday down the line I'll be able to upgrade them, but for the time being they look pretty smart. They match in with the rest of the bike. I've also chucked on these pillion pegs, so obviously we've got the custom foot pegs and shifters and stuff, and then what I've done to these, I did it off camera on a while ago now, but I've basically cut and reshaped the standard pillion peg mount, and turned a matching knurled pillion peg on the back there and on the other side. I quite like the idea of this seat's going to be a double seat, and I quite like the idea of being able to carry a passenger, so I would quite like to keep that there, but it's easy enough just to bolt on and off if and when required. Sort of modular approach to pillion pegs. Right, the last thing I want to get fitted is the momentary switches from NWT. Here they are here. Basically I used these on the XS250. I had a quite in-depth video installing these, so if you're interested for that kind of how-to aspect, you can check that out. So NWT supply you with a little template that you can stick onto the handlebar, and that shows you where to drill a hole for the wire and drill and tap a hole for the screw. I'm also going to drill an extra hole on this side to route the brake switch cable into, and from both sides they're going to come in and exit through a hole at the back of the handlebar here and tuck in nicely underneath the speedometer. So that's hopefully going to be the neatest way of doing this. It's a little bit of a fiddly job, but we'll get there. Feeding the cables down is always a bit tricky, but yeah, it should be fairly straightforward. Just need to take my time and get it right. Now of course the last thing to complete handlebar arrangements is a set of grips. Well, I hope you agree that it's slowly getting there. It's sort of been a bit of a bitty couple of episodes, just bolting things on without any kind of real, story arc or anything. But hopefully that's been satisfying to watch and see the bike take shape. I've got a few sort of bigger things in the pipeline, namely the tank and the seat. I've got the brakes to do as well, brakes and the clutch sleeve cylinder as well to rebuild. So there's content coming. Then things might slow up a little bit while I kind of pot away in the background, getting things like the tank all body worked and things, and then sprayed. I will be filming it all, but I'm not sure when I'll be able to actually get all that work done and get the episode out to you. But there are little bits and pieces here and there that I'll try and get on the channel and hopefully keep you guys up to date with how I'm getting on with this build. But with the time pressure of the Bike Shed show in like a month and a half now, I kind of need to get my head down a little bit and sort of chip away at this. But this has always been about building a bike for myself on my YouTube channel, so filming it is just as important. So I will really make an effort to do that. Anyway, as usual, please do give me a like, leave me a comment and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all the support. I'll see you next time. Take care. Goodbye. This is frustrating. Gotcha.